You sit down to map out a multi-step training program in Copilot Enterprise, expecting deep collaboration, and suddenly the whole process just stalls out. If your experience with Copilot feels noticeably shallower than what you get from tools like ChatGPT or Claude, you aren't using it wrong. There is a structural difference in how these platforms are built. We can diagnose this with 3 symptoms. First, it forgets earlier context in long-form projects. Second, responses are highly corporate and brief, avoiding creative exploration. Third, you cannot customize the underlying rules for the systems you build. If these symptoms sound familiar, it means you are trying to build something complex, using a tool that currently prioritizes short-term tasks over deep, iterative exploration. Microsoft pitches Copilot as the singular, all-in-one AI solution an enterprise team requires to get their jobs done. Because of that marketing, system builders and creators often try to force tasks like coding HTML apps or writing entire books into the Microsoft 365 ecosystem. But there is a distinct architectural difference here. Microsoft Copilot is an embedded assistant. ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini are standalone thinking platforms. Embedded assistants are built to do specific work inside your existing applications, like Word, Excel, and Teams. Thinking platforms live outside your apps, giving you open space to explore new ideas and build from scratch. The daily frustration you feel happens because you are fighting this architectural reality instead of adapting your workflow to it. Let's look exactly at where Copilot operates. It lives entirely within the embedded Microsoft 365 ecosystem. This closed environment gives it a specific advantage for corporate execution. Copilot has secure, frictionless, instant access to your internal company data, your emails, SharePoint documents, and meeting transcripts. Because it already has your data, you can ask it to summarize a specific meeting or draft a reply to an email chain, and it executes immediately. There is no need to copy and paste external data. This chart maps these tools based on capabilities. The vertical axis measures output type, from quick administrative tasks to deep reasoning. The horizontal axis measures environment, from an embedded app to a standalone sandbox. Copilot lands squarely in the quick admin and embedded app quadrant. Getting that embedded security requires a trade-off. Copilot's memory becomes fragmented because the AI behaves differently depending on whether you are chatting with it inside Word versus inside Teams. Furthermore, because it is designed to help you process emails and docs quickly, its outputs are specifically optimized to be short and task-focused rather than long and exploratory. Copilot sacrifices creative depth and continuous conversation memory to achieve zero-friction security. Now, compare that to standalone platforms like ChatGPT and Claude. These are out-of-ecosystem sandboxes. Their primary advantage for complex work is massive context retention. They can handle deep, multi-step projects and support nuanced, long-form reasoning without losing the thread of the conversation. For system builders, this utility is crucial. You gain the ability to create highly customized agents, write application code, and build structured learning frameworks completely from scratch. Going back to our matrix, ChatGPT and Claude operate in the exact opposite space, the deep reasoning and standalone sandbox quadrant. But these platforms carry their own major trade-off. Being outside your ecosystem means they have zero native access to your secure enterprise data. This creates operational friction for daily tasks. Trying to use Claude to summarize an internal company meeting requires constant manual copy-pasting, which breaks your workflow momentum. Standalone platforms offer the memory and logic needed for complex builds, but they isolate you from your company's internal data. So what happens when you try to build complex multi-step systems directly inside Copilot? You are immediately forced into Microsoft's rigid, preset formatting guardrails. The tool resists open-ended exploration. Unlocking deep customization inside Copilot is possible, but it requires significant developer time and coding work to build custom Copilots from the ground up. In contrast, ChatGPT allows you to shape the AI to your specific system instantly. You can feed it your own rules and frameworks, and it adapts to your exact style right in the chat interface. Fighting Copilot's prompt interface to do custom work is often a waste of time. It is a tool meant to be used exactly as is. A clear division has emerged. Copilot serves as an assistant for managing existing work, while ChatGPT and Claude serve as platforms for developing new ideas. This flowchart provides a framework for deciding which tool to open. The primary question to ask yourself is, what is the goal of your task today? Are you trying to process company data, or are you trying to create new systems? If you are operating as a corporate executive dealing with inbox volume and meeting summaries, follow the left branch. Use Copilot Enterprise to process that internal data securely. If you are operating as a creator, coding apps, or designing structured training frameworks, follow the right branch. Open ChatGPT or Claude to get the deep, iterative reasoning those tasks demand. The nature of your daily professional friction, whether you are managing volume or managing complexity, must dictate your primary AI tool. Enterprise architects often face a budgeting dilemma, trying to choose just one AI ecosystem to cover every team's needs. But the most advanced professionals don't treat this as an either-or choice. Instead, they use a hybrid stack. They pay for Copilot Enterprise to handle their seamless, secure administrative execution, while maintaining a subscription to ChatGPT or Claude to perform their deep cognitive work. The ultimate workflow doesn't rely on one imperfect AI. It combines a secure execution engine with an isolated genius.